I always thought cheating was about physics, a kiss, a touch, sex. But as it turns out, cheating starts much earlier, with one thought, with one step taken out of curiosity, out of boredom, out of a desire to feel like more than just a husband and employee. My wife and I have been together for 2 years now, 4. She is a wonderful woman, kind, caring, but marriage has a strange way of turning into a routine. Work, dinner, TV shows, sleep. Repeat over and over. I began to feel less like a husband and more like a roommate. And then one evening, I came across an ad for a dating app. Nothing special, just a banner on a website. I scrolled through. Then I saw it again, and for the 3rd time, I couldn't resist. I downloaded it. At that moment, I told myself, I'll just watch, just for fun. I'm not planning on meeting anyone. But somewhere inside, I already knew I'd crossed the line. At first, I was just watching. The girls' faces, their smiles, their profiles, their photos. I felt like a teenager, peeking into something he shouldn't for the first time. Adrenaline was rushing through my veins. And then she wrote. Her name was simple, unremarkable. She seemed unusual, but her message contained what I'd been missing, attention. Hi, you have interesting eyes. A silly phrase, but I smiled. I realized I was looking forward to her messages more than texts from my wife. We started texting every day, about work, music, movies, then about personal things. She shared her secrets, and I shared mine. I asked her about things I'd never shared with my wife. The feeling of connection grew. I found myself checking my phone even at night to see if she'd responded. And then one evening she sent a photo. Nothing too revealing, but enough to make my heart sink. And with that message I felt like I was standing on the edge of an abyss. When I sent her my first photo, my hands were shaking, not revealing, no, just me in a t-shirt, in the mirrors. But I knew it was the beginning of the end. She responded immediately. I like you. I want more. And that's how it all happened. Light photos at first, then more. I told myself, this isn't cheating. We're not even seeing each other in person. It's just a game. But with each new photo, I felt myself getting more deeply involved. I began to look forward to these moments when I could escape boring reality and feel desired again. And then one day, I received a message from her that changed everything. You do realize, right, that if your wife finds out, it will be bad? It's better to make sure that doesn't happen. I read it and didn't immediately understand. It was a threat, but I realized it was too late. Her words sat on the screen like a ticking bomb. Better make sure your wife never finds out. I froze. My palms started sweating, and for the first time, the rush I used to feel while texting her turned into dread. I tried to laugh it off, typing back something like, "Ha ha ha, very funny, don't joke like that." But she didn't joke. She sent me another picture this time, one of mine, one I had sent just a few days earlier. You don't want this to get out, do you? Let's talk. That was the moment I realized I wasn't in control anymore. She was. I had handed her the knife, and now she was pressing it against my throat. At first, her demands were small. 200 here, 300 there. She told me she needed it for bills, for emergencies. I paid without thinking. Better that than the humiliation of my wife, my family, my colleagues finding out. But small numbers became bigger. She asked for 1,000, then 2,000. Each time I told myself it would be the last. Each time she promised, "Pay me this and I'll delete everything." Of course she never did, and the worst part, I had no idea how to hide it. My wife handled most of our savings, but I still had access. Slowly, quietly, I drained our account. 5,500 gone in a matter of months. Money we had been saving for our future, for a down payment on a house, for stability. Every time I transferred money, guilt twisted in my stomach. But fear was stronger, fear of being exposed, fear of losing everything. Inevitably, the day came when I couldn't pay any more. I had nothing left to give her. Our savings were gone. My hands shook as I typed the words. "I can't send you anything else. I'm done." Her reply came instantly. "Then everyone else will get what I have." I didn't believe her. Not really. I wanted to believe she was bluffing, but the next morning my phone buzzed with messages from friends, family, even colleagues. They had received the photos. My photos. Intimate, humiliating, undeniable. Some of them were taken in our flat, our home, the same flat my wife and I shared. I had to watch as her face changed when she saw them. First confusion, then horror, then something worse, betrayal. And I couldn't take it back. I'll never forget the way she looked at me. Not anger, not even disgust. Just emptiness, like something inside her had broken. She didn't scream. She didn't throw anything. She just asked one question. Why? And I had no answer. I tried to explain that I never met anyone, that I never touched anyone, that I was just stupid, lonely, flattered by the attention. I told her it was nothing but photos, that it didn't mean anything. But when the person you love sees proof that you betrayed their trust, words don't matter. She walked out of the room, and the silence that followed was louder than any fight we'd ever had. The damage spread quickly. My parents called, my brother texted. Colleagues looked at me differently. I could feel my reputation crumbling in real time. Every buzz of my phone was another reminder of how far this had gone. The worst was seeing her try to hold herself together in front of others. She was humiliated, not just by me, but by strangers who now knew more about our marriage than they had any right to. I hated myself for what I had done, but hatred wasn't enough to fix it. One night she sat across from me at the kitchen table. Her face pale, her eyes swollen from crying. She said, "I can't do this anymore. I can't stay with you." And I knew she meant it. That's when I told her everything. Every message, every photo, every payment. The full truth. I laid it bare because hiding had only made it worse. She listened in silence. Then she stood up and whispered, "You didn't just destroy our savings, you destroyed us." And she walked away. That was the night I realized she was gone. Not physically, not yet, but emotionally. And it was my fault. We lasted a few more weeks, living in the same flat, but worlds apart. She slept in the bedroom, I on the couch. We exchanged words only when necessary. The police told us the woman who extorted me wasn't even in this country. They couldn't do anything. 5,500 gone. Our dreams gone. And then one morning she packed her things. She didn't yell, she didn't cry. She just said, "I deserve better." And she left. I sat there staring at the door, realizing that the cost of my weakness wasn't just money. It was my marriage, my best friend, my future. All because I wanted attention from someone who never cared about me at all.